Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well, and welcome to a new series I'm going to be starting. So this is going to be called A Road to Rank A. So as the name suggests, I'm going to be basically posting pretty much all of the races. It's going to be kind of like straight capture from the races. I'm going to be kind of mainly showing the highlights from the races, because I think if I showed every single full-length race you'd probably get a bit bored, but I'm going to record pretty much all my races in sport mode until I get to driver rating A, and probably it's a sportsmanship rating S as well, so I'll be like rank AS basically. So that's my challenge, and it's going to be like a road to getting to that point. So you'll be able to see all the races they do. Some will be bad, some will be good. Hopefully most will be good. And the other thing I wanted to do is I've been mostly doing kind of scripted stuff and trying to keep it all neat and tidy so far, but in this series I'm going to make it a little bit more just personal, I guess. So I'm just going to be recording on the fly and just kind of making it up on the spot, I guess, and talking a little bit about the racing and just kind of what's going on. So let's literally just get straight into it. I'm already heading off here. So in this race it was a Group C class, I think it was. So it's kind of like GT3 class cars. I'm driving the Alfa Romeo 4C GT3, and in this one I didn't get the greatest qualifying lap on this one, because I mean I'd done a bit of qualifying, but I just kind of wanted to get out and start racing. So I started in 7th position and kind of held my position here through the first lap, and then this guy in 6th place, Cartmore, he came off on the side there on the first turn going into the second lap, so I managed to take 5th place. So 6th place from 7th. So I managed to then work up into lap 3, and I'm back onto the tail now of the 5th place guy, which is Stefan from Germany. So I'm kind of just chasing him for a while here, probably about 5/10 behind him here, so not too far away. Just kind of waiting to see if he makes a mistake, see if I can find a good opportunity to make a pass. And he goes really narrow through this last turn here, so I managed to make my pass, and I make my way into 5th position here. So doing pretty well, working my way up, and now I'm kind of chasing this Frenchman, the Stig. In fact, two Frenchmen in 4th and 3rd position. So I'm kind of working on them. I'm currently about 8/9 behind, so almost a second behind here. And you can kind of see my racing's not that good through the S's. I mean, I'm not really going as fast as I can. And you'll also notice that Cartmore, who came off the track here, has come up behind me. So he's really been pressuring me through this whole race. So I was kind of very conscious of that, and I could kind of tell he was just that little bit faster. Going into the final lap then, still in 5th position, and these two Frenchmen here have got a little bit of a lead, about one and a bit seconds. However, in the first turn, they chase each other wide out on the left hand side, which gives me a great opportunity to come right through the inside there and take 3rd position. So I'm pretty happy here. I've gone from 7th place and I'm now on the podium on the last lap. I'm thinking, okay, this is going pretty well. Cartmore has been pressuring me, but he's been driving cleanly. He hasn't given me any contact here, even though he's been pretty close up behind. So I was kind of aware of that. I didn't want him to obviously overtake me right on the last, so I was kind of like trying to drive it carefully, defend my lines, just not really give him any opportunity to pass. And then on the last corner, I think he just went for it. He was really wanting to try and get the pass, and he just nudged the back of my car, and it was enough to send me spinning out wide. And I knew that I'd been made invisible here, so I wasn't kind of too worried about being in the track there, but I didn't want to get started and then you know, screw someone else over. So I kind of just waited for that whole pack to pass and then got back onto the track. And really sad to have finished 13th, because it was a really nice race. As I said, started in 7th place, worked my way up into 3rd, and then the final corner, final lap, just got tapped out. And to be fair to him, he raced cleanly all the way up to then, and he sent me a message saying, really sorry, that was, you know, my bad, and really sorry about that. So I mean, it was obviously really upsetting, but it's nice, you know, and if you ever do that, it is nice to just message the person and be like, look, I'm really sorry, that was my fault, and, you know, sorry about that. But a bit of a shame. Ended up 13th there, but still, nonetheless, it was, you know, a good race. That's just how it goes sometimes. So came into it again. I worked on my qualifying lap a bit. I gained 2/10 on my qualifying lap, so I managed to get up into 2nd. And the guy in 1st place here, I think this Italian guy, Franco Socks, whatever. He was in the lead in the previous race, actually, and he was again in the lead here. And this race was, well, a little less entertaining. So my qualifying lap was considerably slower than the guy in the leads, probably by about 4 or 5 tenths, I think it was. He was quite a bit quicker than me. and but I was a couple tenths faster than the guy in second. So it was a pretty non-event race, and going into the final lap there, still in second, ended up about 2 seconds behind there for a second place. And my sportsmanship rating went up to A, so that's a good thing. So I'm in and rank D as well, so already a rank up now. So you start at E and sportsmanship rating B, and at the end of that race I progressed up to rank D and sportsmanship rating A. So happy days, already 1 rank up. So I don't know how long this series will last. We'll find out. Okay, so this is a different day's race. This was a single make race, so this was the Lancer Evo. I want to say it's like called a final edition evolution something, I don't know, anyway. And it was at one of these new Kyoto driving park, one of the new original tracks. I think it's an original track anyway, I'm guessing it is. And this was a nice one. Started in first place here with this guy Lucas Arcturus in second place, another guy from Great Britain. But I started in first place, and I pretty much, it was again a fairly simple race for me. So I just held my lines, drove quite consistently, and managed to actually win that race out without really anything going down there. So as you can see, the guy in second there actually crashed out at some point and went back down. So there's a win for me, hurrah, first place. And that was all good. And then I did another one, again qualified in first place and won the race without really anything happening. So 2 wins in a row, which was really nice. Cool. Heading into this next one then, again we're still at the same track here. I came up against 2 guys who were a little bit faster than me. So these guys qualified about 4 tenths quicker than me, and actually the guy in first and the guy in second were both on the top 10 on the world rankings. So these guys were quick. I knew they were going to be quick because I had seen them on the top 10 rankings. So you can already tell that they're not going to be super slow. And the guy who was in second place in the previous one, Lucas Arcturus, was in fourth place, and he actually managed to take me on this first lap here, a little bit dirtily. I was a little bit upset with that. I mean, granted, my line was a little bit wide, but he did dive down the inside and he couldn't hold his line, so that contact that he made pushed me a bit wider. He couldn't brake in time, so he basically braked late and used my car as a bit of a bumper to get around that corner and make the position. So I was a little bit frustrated about that, but I just, I drove solidly, and then I basically just put him under pressure. So I put my car, not dirtily, but just pushing him and putting my car in a position to make him feel uncomfortable, so he couldn't quite take the lines he wanted. So you can see here I took the inside line. Again, I wasn't forcing him wide. I held my line. At no point would I have hit into him had he tried to hold his line, but I just put that pressure on, put my car in a position that made him obviously feel nervous and feel like he couldn't quite take the lines he wanted, and that forced him wide in the same place that he overtook me, and I managed to retake the place. So then maintaining third place, we're at lap 3 now, and you can see he's still pressuring me, especially on that last turn where you do the heavy braking. However, it wasn't quite enough, and lap 5, again, he's right on my tail, but I held third position, and there's not really any way you can pass through here unless someone makes a big mistake on this small chicane, which I didn't. So held out third for a podium in the Mitsubishi, which was a really good race, and it was cool. I wasn't too happy with the way he overtook me, but it was nice to be able to take that position back and then carry on for a good, closely fought match. So now into the next one, and this one was actually really interesting. So I managed to improve my qualifier a little bit with the 44.8. Ed's skill here is in the 44.5, so he's about 3 tenths a lap quicker than me on the qualifying lap. And again, this is the guy in the previous race who came second, and who I think he was in the top 10. He's definitely in the top 10 of it's a few days after that I'm recording this, and he's in about 3rd or 4th place on one of the races today, so he's obviously a pretty quick fella. The other thing that I thought was quite funny is we've got GTP Famine in this race. I believe he's kind of like the second in command guy on GT Planet, so he's one of the like admin guys for the website, but I think he's like proper top up there. So I thought that was quite funny, and I managed to qualify ahead of him, so that was an interesting race. But this was actually a really good race, so I knew that Ed Skill obviously was going to be a little bit quicker than me, but I thought, well, I worked on my lap a little bit, and I kind of studied what some of the other guys were doing, and I managed to get a little bit quicker. So I thought, if I can use the draft here, if I can stay close enough to Ed's skill in the front, I can use his draft on the straights and try and close up any gap that he gains on me in the rest of the lap. And it worked out pretty well. So there's the first lap. By lap 4, I'm just about 3.5 tenths behind him, and taking good lines, keeping my speed up. So I thought, well, you know, it's going to be tricky to make a pass, but perhaps he'll make a small mistake and I can find a passing opportunity. But you got to stay focused. That's the thing. Even when you get, you know, at the end of the race, you got to really focus and be like, just don't make, you know, focus on not making a mistake. If they make a mistake, then that's good. Obviously for you, you can try and get a pass. But the most important thing is obviously you don't want to crash and then lose your position. So I just was really kind of trying to make sure I was driving nice and smoothly and staying in the slipstream. And this is a point where I thought, right, I might be able to get him. I was in the draft going into the final lap, but it's just the straight is so short. You don't get much of a chance here. I just I couldn't dive down the inside. I just thought, right, I just got to hold off for now. Maybe I'll get one last opportunity at some point here. I had quite a nice corner here, and again we're super close now. We're down to 2 tenths apart, and I'm just right on his tail, sticking behind him, coming down into this final right-hander, and I just had to let off a little bit there, so to make sure I was in a good position for this last turn, and got a good acceleration out of it actually. He was quite wide on the left there, and I came in a bit narrow, which I think lined me up a bit better for this chicane. And then stayed in the slipstream, but it just, as I said, the straight just isn't long enough to make a pass here, and ended up coming in second place, but only 0.13 behind. So really close race. And what was nice about that one is it upgraded me to driver rank C. So I'm now driver rank C, sportsmanship rating A. So in one episode I've managed to go up 2 ranks. So I'm not sure how long this will last, but I think getting from C to B and then again B to A is going to be really difficult. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments how you found this one, and I'll do some more online racing, and then we'll do the second episode. We'll see you soon.